Okay, we're going to do our in-cab inspection. First thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about our seat belt. It's properly mounted and secured. It's not bent, broken, cracked. No cuts, no tears, no frays. It latches and unlatches and is adjusted to me, the driver. Next thing we're going to talk about is our city horn. It's operational. Next thing we're going to talk about is our fire extinguisher. It's properly mounted and secured, not bent, broken, cracked. No cuts, no tears, no frays. It's not leaking, filled to the appropriate level, properly rated in size for this truck. Pin is in place. These are my fuses. They're multiple random types, and they are for this truck, and they're securely mounted to the floor. These are my 3 safety triangles, properly mounted and secured, not bent, broken, cracked. Proper color, all 3 are present. Proper color being amber and red, reflective amber and red, and they're stored in a box that's securely mounted to the floor. If you do break down, you would set these at 10, 100, and 200 feet. That's your first 5 safety items. The next 5 safety items is your mirror. The mirror bracket. It's properly mounted and secured, not bent, broken, cracked. Relatively clean, adjusted to me, the driver, and there are no illegal stickers. The next thing I have is my windshield seal. Properly mounted and secured, not bent, broken, cracked. No cuts, no tears, no frays in the seal, and it is not leaking. Relatively clean, and there are no illegal stickers. I will turn my key to the on position to get my accessory power. I'll talk about my windshield wipers, my windshield wiper arms. They're properly mounted and secured, not bent, broken, cracked. No cuts, no tears, no frays, and they operate smoothly against the glass, as well as my windshield washer fluid is operational. Then I'll turn on my defroster. Feel up here that it's operational. Turn to my floor heat. Reach down to the bottom and I can feel that it's operational. The next thing is to do is talk about my left-hand turn signal, which is indicated here on the dash. My right-hand turn signal, which is indicated here on the dash. My bright light indicator, which is here in the center, and my 4-way hazards. At this point, I will start my truck in a safe manner. My truck will be in neutral. My brakes will be deployed. I will press on my clutch, my service brake, and turn my truck on. My truck is on, started up and operational. Now I'm going to wait for my tanks to build air pressure, which is also known as a governor test. While it's doing that, I'm going to talk about my gauges. This is my coolant gauge. It's showing that it's rising to proper operating range. There are no errors on this screen. This is my oil pressure, showing that it's operational and it's rising to proper operating range. There are no errors. My fuel gauge, it visually matches what I can see in my tank. This is my voltmeter. It's charging the alternator is charging the batteries between 12 and 14.6. It's my primary and my secondary air pressure, or my primary and secondary air tanks, showing that my pressure is charging. To take these errors off, I'll raise my RPMs up to show that my gauges are operational, as well as my air compressor will governor out between 120 and 140. Okay, the noises went off, which means I'm above 60 psi. My governor has my air compressor is governed out between 120 and 140, as you can hear from the noise in the background. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to perform a tug test. Put my truck into gear, take my trailer brakes off, gently tug against my tractor brakes. As you can hear from the engine bogging down, my brakes are operational. We'll switch them around, changing over to my trailer brakes to make sure that my kingpin is secured with the locking jaws, so that my truck, when it pulls against the trailer, is secured. And as you can see from the jump in the truck and the RPMs that lowered down, that it's operational. We'll do it again just to show again. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to press my trailer brakes in. I'm still in gear. I'm going to pull forward about 3 to 5 miles per hour. This is called my veer test. I'm going to lightly hold the steering wheel. I'll press the clutch, service brake at the same time. My truck does not veer left nor right. Therefore, my service brakes are in proper alignment or adjustment. Put my truck into neutral. I'm going to pull my parking brake or rev my engine up to do a governor test. My truck is going right between 120 and 140. At this point, I'm going to let my RPMs go back down. I'll slide my truck into gear. I'm going to turn my engine to the off position. Take my foot off the clutch, covering the service brake, turning the truck on. And at this point, I will wait for my ABS light to clear and all my instrument panel to clear. Now that's been done, I'll take my parking brake off. Truck will move to a safe stopped position. I'll press and hold my service brake for 60 seconds. In a combination vehicle, I will lose no more than 4 psi. In a Class B truck, it would only be 3 psi in 60 seconds. We're doing a Class A, so this will be 4 psi in 60 seconds. Press and hold the brake. The tanks will balance. You're going to start your countdown. 59, 58, 57. So you're going to go through this point right here to about 45 seconds or so if you can count it in your head. You're going to tell the officer it's holding. Do you agree? He will look over and say yes. At this point, you're going to do your fanning test, which is your lights, alarms, and buzzers, or also known as a lab test. As you're fanning your brakes down at 60 psi, you're going to point to the indicator and say the indicators came on at 60 psi, and you're going to tell the officer between 40 and 20 psi, my spring brakes will deploy. And you'll go ahead and demonstrate that as like this. You're taking your foot off, and you're going to tell him at 60 psi, my lights, alarms, and buzzers will come on. Between 20 and 40 psi, when I do my fanning test, my spring brakes will deploy. So you start and you go. Getting close to 60 psi, call it out that it's on here on the screen, and then at 40 to 20, my brakes have deployed. Therefore, I'm done with my brake test.